From Natural Bridge State Park, it was a 2-hour drive to Mayberry, USA, home to Andy Griffith and everything associated with him. On the map, you'd be looking for a small dot called Mount Airy, North Carolina. Otherwise, just ask anyone in these parts, where does Andy live? Although the sheriff was put to rest in 2012, this town makes it difficult to believe that he isn't watching over this little nugget of near nothingness. The sign should read, "Welcome to Mount Airy, home to Andy Griffith and the kinfolk who adore him." I've had a bit of an affair with Andy since I was a little girl. Hearing that whistling had me knowing that I was about to go on a little adventure with a lesson to be learned. Andy was a bit of like a dad figure until I realized that I was getting older and Opie was staying in his childhood. Later in my teen years, I realized that Andy was not only an officer and a gentleman with an accent that I could understand, but he was also going nowhere with Thelma Lou, and his career in law was blossoming. It only took me a moment to locate the statue of Andy and Opie going fishing that was pictured on our day's itinerary. I waited patiently for the other folks to vacate the area, handed my camera to Hunterdon, and pounced on my opportunity to plant one on Andy's cheek. From the photos, I'm not sure if I'm attempting to shield Opie's view of me attacking his father or if I'm using the boy's face for leverage to do so. Either way, Andy smiled just the way I knew that he would. The Andy Griffith Museum is a gathering place for the memories shared by fans of various ages. From Southern gospel singer and monologist works like What It Was Football, to stage and film performances of No Time for Sergeants, through 249 episodes of The Andy Griffith Show and 9 seasons of Matlock, this local won the hearts of millions of Americans. Inside the museum, episodes of Andy's shows run continuously on televisions, flanked with top-notch souvenirs of Andy's life and shows. There were so many noteworthy items displayed, and I tried to photograph the most recognizable. Among my favorites were Andy's desk, a slingshot that his father had made for him, Otis's Walk of Shame suit, Goober's bronzed beanie, Andy's sheriff shirt, and Floyd's haircut chart. Next door to the Andy Griffith Museum is the Andy Griffith Theater and the Andy Griffith Playhouse, which hosts events year-round. We ventured a bit deeper into the heart of Mayberry to see if Andy and Barney were still on patrol in this neck of the woods. Well, sure enough, the Griffith compound was not the only block cashing in on the fame of Mount Airy's celebrity son. We followed Aunt Bee's catering van that took us to some familiar places. We didn't have time for the nostalgic $50 ride in Barney's squad car, but we did catch it parked outside a Wally's service station on Main Street. Floyd's Barbershop is on the main drag, as well as Foley's Market and the Mayberry Courthouse. We had parked over by the Darlins farm, behind the still, opposite the 40s Chevy state bed with a painted door showing ownership. The Darlins, Briscoe, Charlene, and the boys. We walked around what was left of a town that never really existed and wandered into Wally's service station. We purchased some Mayberry badges and patches that were 1/5 of the price at the museum, and we caught a couple more laughs with Andy and his friends that played on every television in every shop on the block. As we drove away and headed for Good Carolina Barbecue, our eyes were drawn to a plateau high in the sky. I wondered what it could be on the outskirts of Mount Airy. And sure enough, there it was, proof that Mount Airy really is Mayberry. Off in the distance was that place that Sheriff Taylor talked of often enough to recognize, Mount Pilot.